believe that nothing happens by chance, that we are all here by divine appointment, that we heard the call, we answered. And for our viewing audience, you tuned in at this moment because this message is for you. And as we come together, as the two or three gathered for a higher purpose, there the sacred I Am presence is here in the midst of us. We greet it through each other. We embrace it by acknowledging that connection and that opportunity. That's why community is so important, especially in these very, very interesting days. Remember that the ancient Chinese never cursed anyone. What did they do? They wished them an interesting life. So if anyone ever says, oh, I wish you an interesting life, you can just draw the larger circle and include the things that are life-giving, life-affirming. We do grow through our challenges, don't we? We grow through our difficulties. Today we're going to talk about I am empowered to live from faith. And the very idea that our ministry is inner faith, the thing within us that lives and moves and has its being at the center of our one life. The opportunity that when stuff comes up, that I can react to it, give my power away, or I can stand in the truth and know this truth for myself and others, that this too shall pass, but God's love, God's truth, God's beauty will never pass away. Those are the eternal verities of life. That is the changeless reality. Mother Teresa, actually Saint Teresa of Avila, said, let nothing disturb thee, let nothing affright thee. All things are changing. God only is changeless. Now, I was Catholic at one time. I'm a graduated Catholic, and I had a very positive experience in Catholicism. And I remember at one of our silent retreats, the Mother Superior said to me, you have the calling, and you're avoiding it. And I said, well, I like boys. And she said, well, then yours is another calling, dear. Whatever that meant. So I think it meant marriage and family, but who knows, right? But every experience that we have, we bring to the altar of life. So even if we feel that it was a negative experience in a standard brand religion, we were there to work off some karma, to learn what we needed to learn, and through a natural evolution evolve into this way of life where we agree that it's about oneness, that our God is a God of oneness. Beyond color, race, creed, or sexual orientation, our God is a God of oneness. And that we are always attracting or repelling. We attract our good unto us, and we also attract those experiences where we need to learn and grow. I think it's amazing through this law of attraction that when we were at Freddy's, we were driving down, this is in New York, driving down the street, and his actual neighbor, just a few blocks away, was having a big yard sale, and we all said, Barry was driving, shall we turn around? And he goes, and he turns around, and we stop at the New York, this wonderful yard sale. And the woman, she was a fairly young woman, she was selling things with her parents. And I said, you've got so many spiritual things here and so many wonderful things with little sayings. I'll have to get a few things just, to take back from the New York yard sale. And we laughed. And I got a couple of angels and a few other things, some things for Freddie. And she said, I am an angel reader. And I said, that is absolutely fantastic. Of all the yard sales in New York, that we stop at the one where there's an angel reader. Imagine that, through the law of attraction. She said, yes, I had stage 4 cancer. I was not expected to live. My husband left me with 2 children. And she said, the angels, I had an angel visitation. And I got up from my sick bed and I began listening to the angels, and suddenly I have these angel cards. I said, are they Doreen Virtue? And she said, yes, they are. And she said, I began doing angel readings out of my healing. And I thought of all the energies in the universe. We're here right now at this moment with this woman who was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer that had a healing. that listen to the angels. And I know that each and every one of us, as we listen to the angels of our higher nature, we are on that energy, and it's an absolute wavelength that allows us to unfold from a much higher place than we have ever operated before. And when we understand that, we bring in those experiences that allow us to serve others at such a deep level. That we go through our own experiences, we go through our own suffering, so that we can absolutely take those experiences, that we can embody the teaching. Dostoevsky said that I may be worthy of my sufferings. What that means is that I may learn from them. And the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart are accepted and received. O Lord, my God, my strength and my Redeemer. The unredeemed lesson is when we don't get it, and we perpetuate it, and we don't have faith that the universe is unfolding as it should. Dr. Ernest Holmes, in his Science of Mind textbook, has a chapter here on faith, and he talks about misguided faith. Faith in the economy, faith in the media, faith in the things outside of us. That does not serve. That is the temporal world, remember, of conditions, appearances, and effects. The true faith is standing in our own power and knowing at the deepest level that I have something to learn. And it's interesting that we do have other experiences that come up. We think we've learned them, and they come up again so that they can be healed. I don't know how many of you saw Dr. Wayne Dyer on PBS, but he had a guest. Her name was Anita Moorjani. Hay House just published her book on her near-death experience, where she talks about the energetics of all her organs shutting down, and that they were pronouncing her just a few hours to live, told the husband, call everybody in. And she said, I rose above my body, I saw everything that was happening, and I saw my brother coming and getting off the plane. And I realized in a former lifetime that he may have been the older brother now, but I was the older sister in a former lifetime. And that I just didn't want him to come to the hospital and find me dead. So the energy within me, energetically, of all the things that hurt me, all the things I'd suffered, all the things that I took into my body and my consciousness that I never released, were now giving me the opportunity energetically to release those things so that I could come back and finish my work. And she talked on PBS about how she began to lighten energetically and make a decision to live. And when she made her decision to live, all the organs that had shut down began coming back. And the doctors were absolutely amazed, as they always are, and gave her one test after another. She said, I took the test 3 and 4 times, and every time it came back, she said it came back that it was clear, it was a reconfirmation that I am to be here, I am to live my life. I am to have that faith as a grain of mustard seed and say to this experience, remove hence, because with God, all things are possible. With man, they are impossible. With man, we have our own view. We take this view of things. But with God, all things are possible to them that believe. And that's the little catcher. To them that believe. How much do we believe? Do we really believe that we can say to this mountain, remove hence, this obstacle, this problem, this dis-ease, this diagnosis, remove hence, and it does? Because with God, all things are possible to them that believe. I'm known as the mustard seed lady. I've given most of you mustard seeds. If I haven't, talk to me after. They are so minuscule, and I put them in these beautiful little jars, jeweled jar. And someone say, oh, I just love the jar you gave me, the little jar. And I said, well, there was something in it. And they open it up and they look, oh, it's like a little seed. I said, what kind of a seed do you think that your minister would give you? And they said, is that a mustard seed? You can hardly see it. And if you have the faith as a grain of mustard seed, and you say to this experience, remove hence, you say to this mountain, remove hence, you say to this dis-ease, it might look like AIDS, it might look like HIV, it might look like cancer, it might look like MS, it might look like many, many diagnoses. But with God, all things are possible. And when we get that, when we open to that and let go and let God do what God does best, the doctors are amazed. I don't care how many tests they take over and over and over again and what they attribute it to. There is a spirit. There is an energy in the universe, and it is working through us, and we are that avenue, that channel in which it flows. We are knowing God better by means of one another. We are connecting to our God source. We are opening to that energy. And I just loved hearing Anita Morjani speak on PBS and how she got up from that bed. Jesus said it. He said, pick up your bed and walk. Pick up what's no longer working and move through it. Pick it up and come forth. And as we come forth in a greater way, and we are empowered by that faith, and especially, and Dr. Holmes said, to desert the truth in the hour of need is to prove that we have never known it. When things look the worst is the best time to treat, to know the truth, to go within to that secret place of the Most High and pray to our Father, Mother, God in secret, and to know that we are acknowledged openly by the outward demonstrations of our lives. When we come into our house at night and it's dark, do we call the electric company and say, it's dark in my house? Something's happened. Or do we just come in and flip a switch? Let's flip on the switch of faith. Let's just flip it on. Not go, I have it, I don't. Remember that Buddha said life is like hands clapping, remember? I got it, I don't. I got it, I don't. I got it, I don't. I want to got it more than I don't. I want this living faith to be in my bones and at a DNA cellular level, that this is where I live from. And when I got back from New York, I was, I said I went through my cleansing, and then I had people praying for me, and I had my hairdresser do a hands-on healing. He's a metaphysical fundamentalist. He did a hands-on healing. I just picked up my bed and I walked out of there, and he said to me yesterday, how was Sunday? I said, it was fantastic. I felt wonderful. And it's always interesting. I disclose things because if I'm healed and I have demonstrations, I want you to know that we're all human. Every one of us, we're all part of the human condition. We go through stuff. Have you noticed? We go through stuff. Well, yeah, some of you, the honest ones here, yes. We go through stuff. And we come out on the other side of it. And so I had somebody come through the door, and she is a friend of mine. And she said, oh, I'm so sorry you're not feeling 100%. And I said, why would you say that to me? I just shared that I arose phoenix-like from an experience and felt so good in being here. So why wouldn't you say it's so good that you could be here and that you could give your message and that we could receive it and that we can come together in this knowingness and this oneness? And she said, well, we all go through stuff. I said, yes, we do. But when I share what I go through, it's because I'm on the other side of it. And when I'm on the other side of it, I'm excited. I'm excited to be on the other side of it. I'm excited that things are working, that I can share through the power of prayer and having the faith, and to know that, and I will say at one point I thought, should I get a guest speaker for last Sunday? And I thought, no, I will not. I am working through this. I am cleansing. I am releasing. I am letting go and letting God do what God does best by means of me. And I said, you can serve me and others greatly if you just acknowledge it's wonderful to see you and that you made it and that you're here. I said, my cells respond to that. My cells respond to the energy of affirmation. And we know that we're conditioned to say, oh, you poor thing. Don't ever poor thing on somebody. And don't should on them either. You should do this, you should do that. Energetically, we have it within us to arise through the experience of what we go through on the human condition. Not to feel sorry for each other, but to have compassion. There's a big difference in the frequency. The distinction is when I have compassion for you, guess what? I see you as whole, perfect, and complete, and my heart does go out for what you've experienced, but I know it's temporary. That as we celebrate the temporary, that this too shall pass. And when we sympathize, and it's a sympathetic vibration, we say, oh, you poor thing, and oh, yes, I know, I went through it myself, and, mine led to surgery, and we get to hear about all of that. But the truth is that there is a power for good in the universe greater than we are, and we really can use it. And that faith, as a grain of mustard seed, allows us to say whatever it is in front of us. And yes, it might be uncomfortable. We might have, a few little doubts that creep in and out. Our faith may be misguided at the moment. We may have faith in fear instead of faith in God. We may be listening to things outside of us that say, oh, yes, it's a yellow alert day. In other words, not as bad as orange or red, but be fearful just a little bit. And then when it's an orange alert day, we're even told what level of fear to feel. It's just amazing to me. But the truth is, there is a power for good in the universe greater than we are. Let's all open to it today. Let's acknowledge it. Dr. Fenwick Holmes, who was Ernest Holmes' brother, wrote this wonderful little book. It's called The Faith That Heals. And I wrote a little book of poetry when I was in the School of Ministry. And we published just a limited amount of the little book. And it was called A Celebration of Life. And he wrote the foreword to my book. And he wrote, God spoke and you heard and faithfully transcribed his word. And all who read will surely find his wisdom in your heart and mind. So he actually wrote a poem to me for my book of poetry. And he said, the greatest affirmation that we can have is I have perfect faith now. Let's say that together. I have perfect faith now. Again, I have perfect faith now. One more time. I have perfect faith now. Do you feel that energetically? Can you feel it coursing through you? That no matter what the experience, the cleansing, the outer thing that's going on, that I have perfect faith now. And through this perfect faith, I allow it to go before me and prepare the way. And as it prepares the way, I surrender to it. I let go. I allow God to do what God does best by means of me. We are the vehicle of God's expression. We are the energy that puts out the light into the universe. And everyone and anyone who comes within our energy field is healed and uplifted in our presence. Do you agree? Yes, absolutely. Because I have perfect faith now. God bless you. I love you. And we are going what? Higher yet. Where are we going? Higher yet. One more time. Higher yet. And so it is. God bless you.